Sue's been around here for a while. She is a staple of Northern Lights. I have known Sue for many, many years, and I don't feel like she has changed much at all. She is still the go-getter, running around, making our lives a little bit easier. The lamination queen, as we like to call it. She took over that role, again, several years ago, and she is the one to go to when you want something laminated. And the best part about it is no matter what you bring to her, and you can say, I don't need this for a week, you've got time, no worries. Within a half an hour, you have it. I don't know where she finds the time or is able to do it, but she is so quick at getting that stuff done. She's a sweetheart. She really enjoys her job. She enjoys the children. And she also has that little bit of authority that is needed to make sure that they're doing their job as well. She makes sure whatever we want done, she's gonna follow through and make sure that it gets done. So that's a wonderful attribute for Sue and for a paraprofessional, is understanding what we want and the job that we want done, and then you can tell her and boom, she's gonna do it and she's gonna make sure it gets done. She's one of those assistants when we see that she's in our room, working with our room, we know that we're gonna definitely use her to the best of our ability and her ability. It's gonna be sad that when we're looking for something to laminate, not sure who's gonna take over her role. It's gonna be sad not to see her because we're so used to seeing her here, but I want her to enjoy it, live it up, go to concerts. One of my most favorite memories of Sue is 10, 15 years ago, both of us were watching American Idol and we were completely in love with Mr. Adam Lambert. We met up at the American Idol concert down in the cities and we would talk about it, and that's one of my favorite memories of her, is that. So whenever I think of Sue, I think of that, and then plus I think of her just being here and being a staple of Northern Lights.
Bob came to us, I was in my second year of teaching here, came from Northwestern, took over as a football coach. He's been a big part of our department ever since, and our school. I think this is my 19th year here and it's his 18th year here, so long time. You know, he comes in, he's a big personality, he is, you know, coach, and he's great with the kids. He has a great relationship with them. He really cares about the kids outside of school even. He's always checking in with them, and not just his football players, but other kids too. He's definitely going to be missed by a lot of kids around here. I think he's made a huge impact here. We've all tried to make our Phy Ed department, you know, work really well. He's always been looking out for what's best for athletes, but also others too. He helped start the strength and conditioning class that he's been teaching for quite a while. He took over the Changing Lives class and has made that his own, which is a really great class where kids kind of learn about character and being a good human. And they've done all kinds of projects out in the community over the years, and they help with the Ryan Hoff Foundation's Christmas here at school for families of need, and so his impact has been huge. It's gonna be hard for Bob to move on from this and retire. I know his heart is here. He'll say he bleeds blue, but my advice to him would be to enjoy retirement, spend the time with your family that, you know, you haven't gotten to over the years being so busy here, and just enjoy it.
I've known Patti since I started working here about 14 years ago. 3 years after I started, we had many students coming into the program, a lot more than we normally had. And Patti was able to come down, filling in just for a little bit of time in the afternoon. And it worked out so well that we had Patti stay with us. She does really, really well working with students one-on-one. Just really fits in seamlessly and really does a nice job helping every kid in that classroom. I think Patti makes a huge impact with all of our students. So many kids in the hall will stop and talk with her. She just kind of draws out stories from different kids, and they like to have that moment to kind of talk with her. Favorite story a couple years ago, and one of our young gentlemen that she had worked with one-on-one in a classroom came back, and he was taking the tour of Cooper with all of his fellow graduates. Got to the end of the event and he said, "Mr. G, you know, it was really nice to see you, but I honestly came back to see Miss Pat. Can we find her?" So we went down as she was having her lunch, and we pulled her out of lunch, and they had a chance to reconnect. Lots of tears, parents, students, myself, Miss Pat. Just a really nice event, and it was just so incredibly important to that young man that he got a chance to talk with her again before he graduated, and to share how meaningful his time with her at Cooper was. From the moment we kind of found out that we'd would be losing her at the end of the year, that we'd love her to come back as a guest assistant. Much more difficult to find guest assistants, I think. And Patti would be fantastic in that role, and then she can pick and choose when she wants to be here. And I think the kids would love seeing her come back.
It's going to be bittersweet losing her. She's only been here a short amount of time. It's been great having her. She's the first person that the parents will interact with when they're calling if they have issues, and she really helps in calming them down and preventing the calls escalating to either Larry or myself. So it takes a lot of workload off of us, and just interacting with the drivers. She's the first person that they see when they come in the office. So like I said, we'll miss not having her there. I'm really gonna miss is she has an intense love of the Vikings. I am a casual fan, but she often comes into my office and she'll clean all the paraphernalia I have that makes sure dust gets on them. And I've seen her actually tearing down other people if they put a Packer regalia. So I'm gonna miss that, not being able to chat with her about that. Another fun thing is she's modified my behavior with the Q word. We cannot use quiet. So many times I would walk in after being at the middle school and say, it seems quiet around here, and kind of look around, and she was convinced that I was jinxing it, so we banned that word from the office, so no one has that in their vocabulary. So it might come back, it might not, I don't know yet. She enjoys telling me all her stories about her family, both two-legged and four, and I'm hoping that after this she might have time to actually increase some of her four-legged family. So I think she needs one or two more. She would probably agree eventually.
I've known Maria since she has been at the middle school in the early 2000s. It's been a good relationship, and it's been one that I've grown to appreciate over the years because she is very supportive. I think that is special in our department because we are so specialized, because we are the experts on Spanish, and we're able to really get answers from each other, get feedback from one another, a better understanding of the culture, something that we can't get from our non-Spanish speaking colleagues. And we meet every week for PLC and we discuss our levels, and her expertise is valuable. I do have a favorite memory of Maria, and this was when we were in the old building and I shared a classroom with her. She worked at the middle school in the beginning of the day and would come over toward the end of the day in the high school. And I just remember her teaching students how to dance traditionally and sharing her dresses from her home country of El Salvador. And I just remember what a strong impact that made on students. It was a memorable lesson for them and for me. I think she's made a large impact on our school. She has gotten many students interested in Spanish, interested in continuing the language. She anecdotally teaches other teachers Spanish in the hallways. I've seen that a few times, and she just has a passion for teaching and that she shares with all of us. I like to wholeheartedly wish her the best in retirement on behalf of our entire Spanish department and our colleagues, and she's got a lot to look forward to. This is just the beginning, and it's a bright beginning for Maria.
I've probably known Denise longer than anybody in the district because I actually worked with Denise 30 some years ago at a grocery store in town. Oh, Denise is like family. She's been a part of my family. She knows my parents. She knows my siblings. She's been invited to family weddings. I know her family very well. Denise has a lot of impact because I think she has a strong work ethic. She likes to do a good job. She likes to problem solve. She likes to help people out. And then there's the social side of Denise with personality, sense of humor. She's a people person. She likes to interact with people, and I think that's been, since we reconfigured the school, kind of put her in the corner, so to speak, so she's been kind of out of the loop, but people seem to still find their way down there, gravitate down there to find Denise because everybody enjoys Denise and her outlook on life and personality and sense of humor. It's going to be a big hole to fill. Like so many people think so highly of Denise, and the thought of her not being in the building next year, for a lot of people as we talk about changes coming in the next year, that's definitely a big one. That what are we going to do without Denise? And not just, again, just her role as the tech clerk and answering questions, but just being a support for the staff. She was always somebody to lean on, an ear to listen to, and I can't think of a person in the building that won't miss Denise. I know how much Denise has personally touched my life, and I don't know what I'm going to do without Denise in the building anymore. So I thank her for her years of friendship and support, both personally, professionally. She's helped me a lot of days. She knows how much I'll miss her.
I met Dave when I first started teaching physical education in the district. I was at the middle school, he was here up at the high school, and then the year later I moved up here. Got to know him a lot better working with him. We taught adaptive together for a couple of years. A favorite memory I have of Dave is he had a substitute here one time and he said something extremely funny and he didn't realize what he had said, what it meant, and I kind of called him out on it, and ever since then we've kind of been teasing him about it, and he's really lighthearted about it and he'll tease himself. He gets to know the kids, he builds relationships, and he wants to have fun with the kids. So he makes them fun, he gets to know the kids really well, and they like him. They're always looking out to talk to him and coming in for a bag of popcorn to talk to them, and he got to know his athletes really well. He first was coaching boys basketball and then later on girls basketball, and he retired from that last year, but the girls still come and talk to him and want to hang out with their Papa Cots. He's just always been someone that you know is, wanting what's best for kids. He's been a great person to have on our Phi-Ed staff. We're kind of like a family down here. We're not just colleagues, but we really care about each other and each other's families. We've seen each other's kids grow up. He's ready for this. He's been planning away. It's been talking about retirement for a while. He's the person I'm gonna call when I get ready to retire to help me with my plans, because he knows a lot about it, and I think he's gonna enjoy his new lake home with his family.
Steve was actually my middle school basketball coach. That's how I first knew him, and I also knew him because he's been teaching here for a long, long time, ever since I was in the district. He is highly valued in our department. He's kind of our go-to guy. When things get broke, we go to him. When we have questions, we go to him. He's been here for a long time. He's kind of like our father figure. Obviously, when I was younger, I saw him as my coach, and also a PE teacher here. As I've become obviously his co-worker now, it's actually been a great transition to know him in different aspects and in different ways. He's just a good person overall, and I feel like he creates relationships really well with people and even his students. It was a little weird at first, I will say that, but he's such a good guy, and I grew up with his daughter as well, so I've known him for a while. He has put a lot of time and effort into this district in general. He has coached for many years. I'd probably say like 10 plus years. And he does the archery team here for intramurals and the actual state team. And then he also does a lot of work with like scoreboard and scorebook at some of our high school events. So he's very involved and has made a huge impact with not only our students, but our athletes too. My words of wisdom would be to enjoy retirement and to do the things that you haven't got a chance to do yet. Obviously, treat Mary like a queen and do some cooking and cleaning around the house.
Betty is that person that a lot of people see either first thing in the morning, she works breakfast for us, or first thing at lunch. She's just the first person they see when they come in the cafeteria. Super welcoming to everyone. She's got this tone in her voice that makes you feel like maybe you've come to your grandma's house. She likes to say dear to all our students. Thank you, dear. Have a good day, dear. We hear that a lot. You feel like you can talk to her. She likes to see our kids. She looks forward to seeing them. She makes connections with them. She's worked our after-school program. She works concessions, breakfast, lunch. She tells me how much she likes to see these kids grow up from 9 to 12. And not to mention that she's probably one of our better cooks in our district. She runs what we call the homemade station, and she's helped us build that station. It's just a lot of good, solid cooking that kids like to see, and they will stand in line to see her and her food. She's always up for the challenge, knows how to cook and cook well, and will offer input and knows what our kids like. And it's really funny because I don't have to ask for feedback in our kitchens very often, because she says she hears it and she will report to me everything these kids, well, the kids say they don't like this, or they really wanted this item more than they like this, and she's just always listening to that. She finds a way to identify with students, and I don't know how she does it, but she really finds something that's important to them that she will remember and bring up to them. It's really kind of neat to watch. Betty will be missed around here. She's got a laugh that's contagious. I don't know, we might see her around subbing again, but she will definitely be missed in our kitchen. Her friendliness, the kids will be looking for her, I know that. I wish her nothing but the best in her future.
I first met Lynn my first day in the building. When I was told I was on the ELA 9 team, she was so welcoming, and she's been a really great mentor to me. This is my 3rd year in the building. I came from the middle school. A lot of people in our department like to call her like big grandma energy. She just has that warm-hearted kindness that's super welcoming, and just her smile just made me feel at ease when I came into a new position in a new building. Lynn is what I might like to call a warm demander when it comes to words in the zeitgeist of pedagogy. She demands high expectations of her students, but she does it in such a way that they feel loved through it. Her teaching style is so kind that the kids not only learn the content from her, but they also learn how to be a kind and good person to others through her. And that's the legacy she's going to be leaving. I guess it's same in the department. Yeah, we all look to Lynn for mentorship, I guess, in times of need when it comes to curriculum and when it comes to just her expertise as a teacher, as well as for our personal lives as well. She's always there for us. We are going to feel the loss of Lynn Krause so exponentially. It's like this big hole in our department without her. I don't want to think about it. Enjoy that grandbaby. Enjoy the free time. Do the reading that you've been meaning to do, and come back and see us.
So I first met Jolene when she was hired here at the high school in the copy room that I had been working after school making copies for other teachers. And so when she came in and started working, I was basically giving her the run through of how things were working and how I did it and how it was done beforehand, and explaining, basically giving her an orientation of what was going on. But at that point then it was still, she had a lot of questions and I was answering the questions. So then almost every week for the first few weeks she'd have something that she had questions on, so I was helping her out. And then as time went on, when I'd go and check the mail, we'd have a talk about this or that. A lot of people have no idea what she was doing for a lot of people, making all these copies, because when I had started doing it like a week before she got here, realizing how many copies other teachers needed, and then when she started, and then you see the stacks of papers. So a lot of these teachers are going to have to learn how to make their own copies. I think a lot of them are all favorite memories, and we started talking about the past and growing up on the farm, and I think I remember we were talking about the fence post. I think that came up 2 or 3 times that we got onto that same conversation. Everybody's going to miss her because of what she had done behind the scenes. The best thing I just can tell her is, have fun, enjoy life, and as one guy mentioned to me, enjoy life, say goodbye to tension, and hello to pension.
What's really neat about Kym is she sees all our students, and what do I mean by that is she sees those kids that maybe try hard to not be seen, and she can build relationships with just about anybody, and those kids are super important to her. She wants to make sure they know that they're important to her, and when they come to school every day. She has a lot of kids that will come just through her line, that come to lunch to look, and they want to say hi to Nepper. And Nepper's always got a kind word for them, and what I like about her is she holds her kids accountable. She'll ask them how they're doing in school, how their weekend was, and if they say they're not doing it in school, she'll ask them things like, what are you doing to make it better? How do you make it better? She just really pushes these kids to be their best. She makes really good connections with their kids here. She's always got a joke. She's always got something to say. She's not afraid to call a spade a spade. Everybody gets along with her, support staff and teachers alike, principals. She works many of our after-school events. She works concessions. She likes to be around our kids. When I first came aboard, we served summer meals at Lakeside Terrace. And when I came aboard, I was looking at numbers and how do we continue to feed 6, 8, 10 kids out there? It's a drive. And it felt like, this was not profitable. And Kym really argued that these are kids who need it, and she just challenged me to go out there and see what they were doing out there. And I did, and ever since that day, we're going to be out there every day. She single-handedly, through my career, we will be out there because of what she asked me to view and to see and the heart she has for those kids. She'll be missed a lot. She's got a little bit of a directness that not everybody has. I know she's going to be at the lake, at her camper, and just don't be a stranger. Hope to see you around.
Miss AP is amazing. She takes good care of her 6th grade wing. She takes great care of her teachers and her students. She is always putting others ahead of herself and taking care of other people. She's known around this region for doing such things. She's an exceptional human being. So I met Mary about 15 years ago, and since then it's just been wonderful to see what she's been able to do across this district. She's kind of got her hands in a lot of things and has made an impact in a lot of different areas. Here's what's great about Mary. If there's an event or something fun to be planned, she has games at the ready. Ever since Mary's been in administration, assistant principal at Northern Lights or here at Superior Middle School, one of her biggest passions really is to make sure that kids are attending school. She started this work years ago. She's got relationships all over Superior and with the court system. And this year alone at the middle school, we've increased our attendance rates by 30-40%. At the end of the day, a positive outcome is because of a positive relationship that's been built with that family and that student. So she does a wonderful job of connecting with the families and kids so that they feel welcome and that they are able to share any of their concerns that they have so that she can help resolve those concerns and make sure that that student's showing up to school every day. Mary, you're legendary. You will never be forgotten. You will always be remembered in such great regard. And keep your phone nearby. We might need some extra support and we'll give you a call if we need your help.
Rick, I'm grateful to him for bringing me into the district. I got a chance to serve with him as assistant principal at the middle school. It was an honor to work for him and also just to learn from him. I think that really set my foundation as a leader and allowed me to hopefully be a decent principal here at Great Lakes. Rick's always been a guy you can bounce ideas off of. I think more when I worked with him directly, that was one thing that I miss being a principal by myself at this building. I do miss some of the conversations I was able to have with Rick when things would come up. He always had good, sound solutions. Rick's impact on the district will go on forever. There's a laundry list of people that served under him in assistant principal roles that went on to become principals. And I think that's just a testament to Rick's leadership and development ability. So he's going to continue to make an impact even when he's out on his fishing boat here in a couple months. When I first came into the district, Rick was so welcoming. He took me on a canoe ride and I remember catching a northern off the dock. That was probably one of my first couple weeks in the district. Rick will also remember the bathtub. So I live in an old house and we were in the process of doing some remodeling and I called Rick and a few other people just to help me get this big, huge bathtub out of the second floor of my house. And I thought this is gonna be like a 15-minute project, whatever. That thing was huge. It had to have weighed a couple thousand pounds. Eventually we ended up chopping it into pieces. It was built like concrete, but Rick will remember that because that was probably the biggest bathtub that any group of people has ever moved, and he was part of that. Rick, I wholeheartedly wish you an awesome retirement. You've done so much for the school district of Superior, so much for me personally, and I know many of my colleagues have a lot of things to be grateful to you for. I wish you nothing but many, many wonderful years of retirement, fishing, hunting, whatever it may be that you want to do. Always will be friends with you. Please don't hesitate to give me a call or text and meet up for a beverage or whatever else you'd like to do. We're gonna miss you in this district, Rick.
It's a day like all day, filled with those events that will alter and illuminate your times. Let's make it a great day or not. The choice is yours.